Our commodity is time. Each second that passes by, another legend dies. Another day, another goodbye. Part the mountains so we can fly high. World is yours like a blimp in the sky. Grateful for the legacy you left behind. Another day, another goodbye.
These elders trying to rewind time to still the youth instead of passing the juice as if your time had a choice. These new congregations inside old conversations addressing the undressable like they have a voice. Oh, Messiah's not giving the blessings to new disciples. They can't decipher who's worthy. There's no apostles, just old winos and used to be as we used to idle. The black slingers preaching agendas that corner gospel. The mothers of the block with the hope that quote the Bible. For the gladiators behind the wall that's in survival. Same block but different allegiance, gotta be rivals. The ones who say that they got your back, never's behind you. So careful for your left and the right, see who's beside you. Don't let them know the door is unlocked, just let it guide you. Astro projects the soul, now let it find you. Take control, you lose it all, gotta confide you.
Our commodity is time. Each second that passes by, another legend dies. Another day, another goodbye. Part the mountains so we can fly high. World is yours like a blimp in the sky. Grateful for the legacy you left behind. Another day, another goodbye.
Tomorrow ain't promised, so I'ma shake, rattle, roll. Karma creeps kinda slow motion till the snatch of soul open. 724, hoping that we never go into the darkness. We'll regret sick and playing second best with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. What's my legacy? A shit ton of dead blood, sweat, weed, and Hennessy. I just wanna leave a dent so they can remember me. Not a pocket full of lint filled with empty dreams. Till that bridge fall down, I'ma cross it, trying to slide into my prime. I can't force it, proper precautions might work, but it'll cost you. Cause a rabbit trying to race against a tortoise is a forfeit. Slow and easy is the pace that I take. Any mistakes that I made along the way help shape me to the king that I am. At this moment, I'm just breathing in the air while my girl Angie told me.
Our commodity is time. Each second that passes by, another legend dies. Another day, another goodbye. Part the mountains so we can fly high. World is yours like a blimp in the sky. Grateful for the legacy you left behind. Another day, another goodbye.
Yep. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Twitch Johnson. So grab your substance and your drinks, or stay sober-minded, if you will. And with that being said, let's start the show. But if you feeling my vibe, like, share, and subscribe. You can catch me at Twitch Johnson on Instagram. That's Twitch Johnson _ TWISTJOHNSON _ You can catch shorts on Facebook, Instagram, and now TikTok. Facebook at Talk About It. Instagram at Let's _ Talk 2025, and now TikTok at Twist.Johnson. And before we get into this handsome young man inside the screen with me, we gotta pay these bills, and it's the current events that nobody asked for. So today's story we got is from W Top News, and a child was reported missing, and a TV news chopper crew spotted him on the roof playing hooky. Okay. A 9-year-old boy in Brooklyn, New York, left home around 7 a.m. this Thursday. He did not go to school. CBS News New York reported that the boy's parents called the police, who outed a description of the missing child. CBS station happened to be covering a story around the area when they heard the alert go off, which was not too far from the area that they were reporting the story on. So the CBS station sent the chopper to that area. Dan Rice, a reporter for the CBS News, spotted the boy on top of his family's building. A neighbor reported and said that he seen the boy up there while he was sipping his coffee for the day, but he had no intention that he was cutting. In fact, he didn't think nothing of it. The boy was returned to his family. There is no information as to why the 7-year-old boy was playing hooky on the roof. My thoughts on that? First of all, I don't know if that's too young. You let us know. You decide. Let us know in the comments. But I would say he probably had anxiety for the first day of school. So that's the current events that nobody asked for. With that being said, we're going to introduce this young man inside the screen with me. Without further ado, tell me where you're from and what else you would like us to know about you before we jump in.
All right, man. My name is Will T. I'm from Illinois, Carroll, Illinois, to be more specific. 34, well, 33, excuse me. I'll be 34 in January. I'm married, have 3 sons, and I'm living life and enjoying it every day I can.
Amen. So now we're gonna do the pour out and pour up. So you got to choose to pour out, or you can pour up for someone, and I'll take the cup and I'll pour out for you if you don't have one. So who you pouring out, pouring up for?
Man, I'm gonna pull it out, man, for two of my brothers, man. I lost one of my brothers in 2021. I recently lost another one of my brothers last month. Shout out to G. Shout out to Sweet Jones James. You know what I'm saying? Long live them forever.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna pour out for those brothers right now, and rest in peace to them. All right. So you ready to start the show, my brother?
Yes, sir.
All right, so now y'all know who this brother is, and we about to go more in depth. So today's topic is let's talk about family and laws. Let's talk about blending in the families. So a lot of us out there, you heard him mention that he was married. So what that is, that means you have a family that you are now adopted in that you might or might not have wanted. But guess what? For your loved ones, you gotta do what you gotta do. So the first question I have is how important was it for you to receive your wife's father's blessing?
I grew up in a place where I was raised by my father, so it was very important to show that you're a man, as well as going and talk to the man of the female that you dealing with, whether it's an uncle that's played the father figure, whether it's somebody that her real father, whoever stepfather. You always went to go have a conversation with them and meet them and show them who you are. You know what I mean? So when I first met my wife's father, like, it was very important for me to stand on my own and obviously be respectful and things of that sort. But he saw something in me that I ain't gonna say I didn't know, but it wasn't no big deal. He knew who I was, and I showed him who I was, especially over the time that I got to know him. So that first initial meeting was definitely very important for him to see that I was going to provide, I was going to protect, and I was going to do the things that was necessary to take care of his daughter before we was even married.
Hmm. Right, like from what I know now versus what I thought of then, I feel like it's very important for the males inside of the woman's life that you are asking for the hand in marriage. You do have a sit down, you do have their blessings. Giving away someone's daughter is sacred. And what my dad told me when I got older is that if you can't take the responsibility off of the father and make it lighter for them when it comes to their daughters, then what are you doing? Like, your job is to make it lighter for them. That's if they have the dads. A lot of women, unfortunately, might not have that information, and neither will the guys. So I'm actually proud that as African Americans, we both had those educations from our dads. Next question I got: if she didn't have the father in her life, who would have been the next male to seek out? And was it close males, cousins, or uncles? Who would you think would be the next in line?
I mean, essentially, it's actually getting to know your person and know who is important in their upbringing. And like I said, in some cases in my past, it's been uncles, it's been a stepfather. You know what I'm saying? It is obviously before I only been married to her, but I'm saying
Yes.
like dating them and actually, you know what I'm saying, getting to know them. It's males that played a key part in their upbringing. So you just, as you talking to them, and then actually now you getting to come around the family, you kind of see who's who, and those are the people that you go and kind of rub elbows with, so to speak. So in my experience, it's been uncles, it's been stepfathers, maybe a big cousin, or whatnot. I mean, hell, maybe even a big brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are the people that I the way I was brought up and the way I think is those are the people that you go have those conversations with. Even if they do got a father, you still go talk to the father. You may have to talk to a couple of the brothers, and those are the ones I expect to give me the third degree. You know what I'm saying? They want to
Oh,
ask a
yeah.
bunch of questions. Those are the ones that want to say, hey, what you think about this? What if this happened? How would you do this? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Them are the ones you supposed to display. What your intentions are. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. I think that's very important. Society would say that if the father is absent, then who would take his place is an uncle or the first brother. But emotionally and like logical inside of like human nature, it's who's actually performing as a person of a confidant for that female.
Hmm.
It can actually be a best friend, that's a male figure, or it can be like an older gentleman from the block, or like a step parent. So society versus logical, I think is best that it's the person who they value the most of their opinions. And I think that a lot of times we get stuck in there. I need this blessing. I'm just gonna try to get in good with the brothers and the uncles, and that's not necessarily the case. You just need a blessing from the person that they feel like, hey, this is the person who's been my father. This is the person who's been guiding me. This is
Yeah,
the person who's going to
and
give it.
and if you actually listening to your person that you've been dating or whatnot, you'll know who that person is because they'll speak about them. You'll hear them on the phone speaking to them. They'll
Hmm.
actually pull up and check on them or whatever the case may be. So you'll know who that person is if you paying attention.
Right. Which brings into this. Who do you think is the most important people to get the approval from? Friends, family, or immediate family?
You said who to get the what from?
Who do you think is the most important people to get an approval from when you ask in a hand in marriage? Is it friends, family, or immediate family?
Again, it's all family. Every family is different. Every structure, everything is different. But in my opinion, like I said, it starts with the father if the father is around and the father is involved. And then then you go down to that line of succession of who they deem is important or who played that role for them. But from my perspective, it's definitely the father. Then you go down to the brothers, and then if she got any uncles that's involved in her life, then you have those conversations with them as well. That's my perspective on it.
Yeah, like my perspective on it is I feel like it's so many players within hand, especially when you ask someone hands in marriage. There's a lot of reservations, a lot of people that are passing opinions, and for me, I can feel like it's nerve wracking. I know I already love the person and I want to spend my life with them, and asking a father for a blessing, that's one in itself. But then you have, depending on how huge the family is, you have uncles, you have cousins, you have friends that like present as family members, and everyone wants to at that point show how close they are and how important the person is to them, and want to feel that person. I feel like it's best if anybody's out there who's considering marriage and they feel like they need those blessings. For me, I feel like family is important, immediate is important, all friends are important. However, I want everyone to listen closely. The family who I feel that is important is the family that's actually active. The family who's checking and showing up every day in and day out.
Mhm.
Yes, it's important to have the blessing from the dad, but if the dad is an absent father, do not take it away from them. Still have the conversation and let them know, hey, this is like what it's hitting for, this is where we're going. But it will be the brother or the cousin or the active male inside of the female's life that you would need to have that conversation in depth from. That's my opinion of it. Um, is it important to be liked or respected by your partner's family?
Liked or respected, or liked and respected.
Liked or respected, or liked and respected. However you want to give it
Um,
out there.
Personally, I don't care to be liked. If you don't like me, fine. You
Yeah,
know what I mean. But I'm not gonna lead with disrespect, and I'm not gonna tolerate disrespect. So it has to be a mutual thing on the respect part. Now, it would be easier for us to be around each other and blend both sides of the family if the family likes you. You know what I'm saying? That makes it a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? But just off the strength of it, man, I'm here for the person I'm here for. Like you know what I mean. So if you don't like me, cool, that's fine. But I'm gonna do right by the person that's your family member. You know what I'm saying. So you can not like me, but I'm still gonna provide. I'm still gonna protect. I'm still gonna do what I'm supposed to do as a man to make sure that your family member is okay when they're around me and when they with me. You know what I'm saying. And my kids, now that I have kids, you know what I'm saying. So like I said, being like it's a more ideal and it's better. But if they don't, cool. I'ma speak and I'm be respectful when I see you, and then that's that. We just won't have no conversation. We not toasting. We not doing none of that together. It's just more like, hey, how you doing? And I'm gonna keep it moving.
that part. Like I used to think that like having that approval from the family was very important because you have a lot of relationships, people who feel like, hey, you need to meet my friends, you need to meet my family, and I need them to approve you. Whatever the talks is happening behind the scenes of, all right, so what'd you think of this person? I also learned as being older and like more committed relationships exactly what you said. It's not about being liked, it's about being respected. If the person doesn't like you, it's because either they feel like you're in a way now. I mean, obviously, they're in a relationship, they're about to be married. In some way, there's going to be some changes. The priority is going to be family. The priority is going to be relationship, and everything that used to happen is going to look different. It has to be
Right.
adjusted. Then
Right.
the other one is person to person interaction. Personalities might not mesh. You might have a strong personality, and so would the family member. I feel like being liked is something we all crave. It's a bonus. However, what you said, that in performance it will show. Even if they don't even get to know you that much, and that's the reason why they don't like you. They never see you around, or they always hear about you in third person from your significant other. I think the lack of familiarity, they wish that they were more a part of that sacredcy, makes them dislike you. I also feel like being liked is just a want. It's not a need.
Necessity. It's definitely not a necessity. Like I said, you're not gonna be around that family member all the time. Especially
Right.
with the occupation that I have and me us being away from both of our families, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm just seeing them once a year, twice a year, or some something going on family function, it's not important that you like me. Now if you did, then it's more enjoyable. Now I can socialize with you more when we are around each other, but I'm
Right.
I'm I'm not around you every day. So it's not that big, it's not a necessity. I'm gonna say it's not that big of a deal. It's not a necessity, but it's definitely better if they do. If y'all
Right.
do like each other or they like you or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. Which is going to lead into the next question of it is, do you feel it's important to have a bond with your partner's family?
You should have some type of bond. Like I said, it's all up depending on your person. So if they're close with their siblings, I'm not saying that you gotta be so close with them where you talk to them every day too, but you have a good enough relationship or bond with them that if it's something going on that you want to discuss with them about, like, not something bad, but it's just maybe you're trying to surprise your spouse with something or your person with something, and you want to incorporate their siblings in it. You want to be able to at least be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, like, hey, what you guys think, or can you, like, what I'm saying, there's been times where, especially in the beginning, like, I was trying to figure out what to get on my wife, you feel me, for I think it was like our first Christmas. We weren't even married yet. It
Yeah.
was, we was rocking. I
Mhm.
called. I somehow I got her sister number. I hit her sister up like, yo, this is what I'm thinking. Like, can you help me out? Like, I'm not really good with gifts at the time. Like, this is eight years ago. So I'm like, I'm used to just giving girls money for Christmas or whatever. I wanted to put some thought into it, but I had to try to build that bond with the sister prior to, and then I was able to
Yes.
able to call the sister and say, hey, boom, boom. They gave me a couple ideas. Hey, Christmas came. My wife was crying. She busted that gift open. You know what I'm saying?
Big win,
Um,
big win, the biggest.
but yeah, so yes, it's definitely I feel like it is important to have a bond, so that you can get you can get those moments like that, or whatnot.
Yeah, like I feel like I feel a little bit different, and I'll try to explain it the best way I can and clear for everyone listening out there. I respect the bond. Like I feel like a bond is very important. It makes the flow easier. Helps you connect with the family side with things that you might lack or things that you need to understand with. You can call them and you can try to get it. Like favorite foods or just like you said, gifts or like planning trips and gatherings together. I feel like with the bond, it ties into the like. If there's no like there and there's no
It's gonna be harder to
respect,
build that
it's
bond.
hard.
Yeah,
How I feel about it now, like when I'm thinking about marriage, thinking about dating towards marriage, the bond is very important, but I feel the rapport is more imperative. Which is, let me say it lightly, a rapport with someone, you don't have to like them, but you still have to work collaboratively for the person that you guys love equally so you can get the agenda across. So I feel like rapport is important. Let's say, for example, we're at a gathering. This person might not care for you. They do care for your significant other. Your significant other is very close with this individual. You know that 9 out of 10, a birthday is coming up and they might want to, join collaborations. You might not really want to, but you know it's going to be important for your person. That rapport, even if the like is not there, you guys still go work together on a professional, intimate side, if that makes any sense. It's to where is that a rapport can overpower the dislike when you have the bond. You can challenge that. I've learned that rapport doesn't necessarily means that you have to like each other.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the bond is important. I mean,
Yes.
especially when you actually get married and you with this person, the bond is important because, I mean, stuff happen, man. People pass
Oh yeah.
away, So now, the person passed away. You got to have a bond with the family. You got kids. That's why I say the bond is important. I don't mean to go that deep and dark, but
Oh hell
things
yeah.
do happen in life where if you never built a bond with those significant people, the sisters, the brothers that they actually are close to, the siblings that they're close to, or maybe even a cousin or aunt, right? You don't even have the support system now. They only doing it because that person is no your person is no longer
Exactly.
here. Instead of
Exactly.
y'all already having those that bond where y'all talking and speaking and y'all getting it set with each other when y'all at a function and laugh and whatever whatnot. So
Hmm.
it makes that if something was like that to happen, in my opinion, it would make a transition like that a lot harder,
Okay.
or whatnot. So I feel like the bond is important.
It is important. Let's teach right now. Here's a good question. Like, how do you feel when there's a misunderstanding with your partner's siblings or family? Do you chime in or do you stay out?
Oh, between your person and one of their family members,
Yes.
I mind my business.
Mm-hmm.
I mind my
Teach
business, man.
teach them.
For me, you don't know what their bond was or what like the reason why they at something. And if 9 out of 10, if me and one of my siblings is getting into it or whatever, and you jump in it, we finna get on your head. Like, you know what I'm saying? We finna get on your head. So in
Yeah.
those cases, man, you just mind your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, any other way to put it, I ain't even finna go in no more detail, man. When it's like that, when it's say a aunt and a your spouse and a cousin or a sister or a brother, man, you mind your business, cause
Yes.
the truth is they're gonna argue, they're gonna be okay in 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Or a few days, few months, and then now
Right.
you looking
But at
like the
the end of
bad.
the day, that you gotta stay out of that. You gotta stay out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I don't have anything to add to that. Everybody, it's just plain and simple.
Yeah.
Unless, let me backtrack. Unless it's anything physically, and that's hard. It's to where it's that like you might have to be like, yo, hey, and even that you got to say it lightly because siblings fight. Sibling rivalry is real.
So as a man, I'm going to protect my person, but when it's their sibling, I'm just going to more like break it up. Now, if the brother gets too spicy or the other person gets too spicy, then it could go there. But for the most part, I'm going to try to keep everybody calm and just like, yo, y'all chill out. We can talk about y'all can talk about this later, or whatever. Then yeah, if it becomes physical, then yes, you obviously need to intervene.
Right.
But if they just spatting back and forth and whatever, yelling, cussing each other out, I mean, you like I said, you mind your business, man.
Yeah, I
Mind your
need to
business.
hear that. Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
hear that. That's very tough as a man to do, especially if it's the wife. No matter what it is, if it's siblings and aunts and uncles, say it lightly, choose your battle because you'll be the one that's probably packing up. Um,
Or get packed up,
question:
play games.
Get packed up. All right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like not having a man in your life as a woman? Do you feel like not having like a man in your life, dad, brothers, uncles, anyone that can be a positive role model? Does it affect how they are treated by men or how they view men in relationships?
Whoa. That's a good one, man. Yes. In my
Okay.
experience, you know what I mean? I've obviously lived a life before I was married. Most of the time when the female didn't have a father figure or a father in their life, they tend to either cling to you a lot more, or they have like issues with you, like especially if you're a A-type male like myself, and you putting down rules and restrictions and how things should go, and they kind of not used to that because they used to been able to do whatever they want to do, move how they want to move, or whatever the case may be, it definitely plays a part in it, whether good or bad. Most of the time, if they have not had a father, it's probably gonna be bad, man. Um,
Right. Like
yeah.
I've played both sides of the field as well. I've had women who have father figures and their father in their life, and I've had women who just have their mom. It's definitely different territory where like the integrity is different. The morals is different. Like if you're dealing with someone who only has their mother, they're gonna show you how to nurture and how to keep the man. But if you have a father that's been in your life, they're not just going to tell you how to keep the man, they're going to show you how to treat him also. And they're going to show you how to the master the art of communicating with a man and understanding the difference between being a crybaby and being vulnerable. I also learned that when a woman has a father in their lives, they tend to have more solid rock. You can't play the games that you're going to play with a woman who doesn't have a father in their life because the father teaches them about
So
like what it is.
the manipulation part
The
of it, because
manipulation tactic.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like I said before,
Yeah.
I was married. You could play games when you know
Hmm.
somebody's longing for a father, or, that male figure, that male presence. So now you can kind of play off of that and still get what you want. What they say, have your cake and eat it too, but ain't that what you
Right.
supposed to do? You know what I'm
Ain't that
saying?
what you're supposed to do?
But in those situations where I was dating females that didn't have that, I was definitely able to control or dictate the situation a lot easier
Right.
than,
Hmm.
than when I dealt with somebody who didn't, because they had somebody around them saying, "Hey,
Hmm.
look out for this, look out for that." On top of that, you treat a man with respect. You don't talk down to him, whatever case may be. So they had a different upbringing when they had that male figure or that
Hmm.
father in their life.
I do want to say, there's also a up or a down when a female has a dad in their life. Let's say the father is addictive or abusive person, or just really doesn't have that masculinity trait of what a man looks like
Mm.
as far as like how they treat women. They're going to they're going to feel like that's how a man should treat them. They're going to accept a man that's hitting them. They're going to accept the man just being an alcoholic or suffering some substance abuse and feeling like they could rescue them because that's the mirror image of what they see in their dad or their
Mm-hmm.
father figure.
Mm-hmm.
For most people that we talk to that like just is having conversations, they will tell you that women, just like guys, but we're on the women right now, date their fathers. They look for the traits that they see in their dad. So if their dad is treating a woman with respect, coming home and checking in and doing homework with the kids and making sure that the house is correct and their mother is happy or satisfied or stepmom, then that's the type of image that they're going to look for in a significant other. That's what
Yeah,
I've seen.
yeah, and I mean, we as humans do that. I guess like unconsciously, like subconsciously, you look for those things without even saying this is what I'm doing or this is what I want. It's just kind of like what you gravitate towards based off what you saw growing up, or the type of way somebody was being treated in your house, on that level. But yeah, you are correct.
Yeah. Okay. Do you take your partner's siblings to be your siblings, or are they your partner's siblings?
Whew. I'm still learning how I want to go with that. To be honest, I address them as bro or sissy or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But as far as saying like this my brother, I mean, or this my sister, I mean, don't get me wrong, like if we out and ain't nobody gonna do nothing to him, ain't nobody, you know what I
No, of
mean? But
course.
as far as I'm still working on building those bonds with them to say that, you know what I'm saying, to know if I can really say like, nah, this is my brother, this is my sister, you know what I mean? So I'm in like the middle on that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been together 8, married for 6, so we still building, especially because I'm not around her siblings on a day to day. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think I think because of my occupation and where we live, and not in relation to her family or my family, like the bond is not there to really bring that person all the way in and say like, nah, this is my brother, this is my sister. So it
Mhm.
makes it harder to do that. So I'm kind of like in the middle on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. For me, it would be the bond. Like, just because now we're family by law, I don't feel like we're family by emotion. I feel
Hmm.
like it's rapport building and bond. if we don't have any conversation and the only relationship we have is between the love that we have for someone, then that's fake. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm going to introduce, like, yeah, this is my sister in law, this is my brother in law. But the feeling behind it is, I don't feel like you are my brother or my sister. We don't have any relations. We don't have any connection. I feel
Right.
like, we should be able to say, hey, how you doing? Or like if we at gatherings, even if we don't talk at all, we gotta have some type of chemistry. Not just like, you dating this person we've never met, or we never shared a drink, or we never toasted, we never had a meal together. Um, just like you, for me, I like authenticity. Like, it has to be authentic. I
Mm.
have to have a feeling behind it. So I can respect you for the person that you're with, and I can be like, I love you because you love them, but I
Right.
don't love you for yourself. So yeah, respectfully, I feel like no, I'm not just going to consider someone my sibling just because they're attached to my sibling. I
Right.
gotta. You're my sibling in law, but you're not my sibling by family. So I
Right.
get it. How do you settle difficult differences between you and your partner?
I mean, it depends on what it is, but for the most part, if it's something that we kind of like having a back and forth about, and we typically put a pin in it because we don't want it to get too heated. We discuss it when we both have cooler heads. What they say, cooler heads will prevail.
Mm.
So it's simply about communicating is what I'm getting at. And sometimes communication can be off. You know what I mean? Somebody
Yeah.
could wake up not be in the best of mood. Somebody says something, or whatever the case may be. But it's simply about communicating. Once you realize that, okay, I rubbed this person, I done rubbed them wrong, or I might not have said it. So now you come back and you have that conversation. Of, look, I know you was just trying to tell me, hey, we need some more milk, but I ain't want to hear shit about the milk at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? I apologize for, being so snappy or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna work on it. And so the follow up to that is communication, but when a person communicates what they like or don't like or something that bothered them, you can't just say okay and I'm gonna work on it and then you don't try to work on it. So you have to communicate what you like and don't like and then work on what the person has communicated to you. Not just saying okay, then that's that. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's a two-part answer to solving difficulties within the relationship. It's communication, actually coming up and with a plan together, or a plan saying, all right, cool, you said this, you didn't like this, okay, I'm gonna do this to fix that, and then and
Mhm.
you try to work on it. I mean, sometimes you work on it and be good for a month, and then you might mess up, but as long as you continuously working at it, and communicating about the work or the plan to do it, then I think that's how you work on those difficulty.
I'm gonna go on to the next one because you answered that sweet. Like, do you think it's okay for someone to still marry someone if they did not get the proper blessings from the family, dad, mom, or anyone that's important in their life?
I think that it's up to the two people. At the end of the day, um, regardless about the family and this or that, this is the person that you're gonna be around every day. This is the person that you're trying to build something with. So if you don't get the blessing, and that person still wants to be with you, if you don't get the blessing and they saying that, all right, well, my dad or my uncle or my cousin or my big brother said no, then that's it. Then the relationship ends. But if they still saying they want to be in it with you, and they saying I don't care that they said no, then of course we're gonna rock out
Mm-hmm.
with our cock out. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my excuse
No,
my
no, no.
lingo. You
Bring
know
it
what I
in. Bring it
mean?
in. Doesn't
But
matter.
yeah,
What
so
you
I
talking
feel like
about?
I feel like it's okay as long as you and that person that you're trying to be with is agreeing that y'all gonna still do it anyway because y'all gonna do it y'all way, y'all gonna build and grow together. Then it don't matter what the world says because
Right.
y'all have your own world, y'all building your own world. You know what I mean?
Which is tough because I agree with you to an extent to where it's like I agree that it's going to be okay. I don't feel like it's always going to be all right. If you don't have the blessing from these core people that's been around, it's going to be a little bit harder to navigate the relationship depending on what type of relationship you have. Some people they need you to have the blessing from their dads or whoever it is. Others they might be a little bit relaxed about it, like, well, if we'll just tell them, but if not, we're still going to do it. I feel like if you wound up doing it and you didn't get the blessing, it's not only going to affect you, it's also going to affect the kids. If you wind up having kids, it's going to affect how they interact with the person. They invite you to gatherings and stuff. That means you guys are probably going to be alone on that other person's side. Their family is probably going to disown them at that point, and now you have to be their family. I know people who've actually done it and they didn't get the blessing, and they say it's difficult, but the love that they have, they were still able to overcome. Eventually, people came around, but that might not be the case all of the time. So
Hmm.
I want to say, like, blessings are important, and blessings can um definitely have an impact on like what your marriage will look like.
Hmm.
I too would say like, hey, if you gonna do it, do it. Like we love each other. I know your dad probably wasn't in agreement with me. He probably feel like I'm not the best. I'll probably never be a great provider for you, but you believe in me, so let's do it. I also know that we'll probably be at odds for that. And from education I was learning, it does make it easier for like a separation if you guys are going through struggles for the simple fact you don't have anybody that's team you. They actually want this to die, so they're like, yes, finally. I mean, yeah, you should leave him. So it has its ups and downs. Um, if you had to do it again, would you marry the person that you married, and what would be different?
Man, I'd do it again and twice on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Twice on Sunday. Love that.
So, I mean, I don't really feel like I would have done anything different because when I met my wife, man, we both weren't looking for anything. We was just young, enjoying life, and just happened to meet each other. Really, in we were in very pivotal points in our life. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have chose no other person, no other way of it happening, of it or it becoming what it became. Um, yeah, I don't really got nothing else to say on that. Like
Hey,
that's my best friend. Like she been down with me. Like no matter what's going on in the world, you heard me. She ain't
no.
switch up on me not one time, man.
Let me ask you: is marriage as let me rephrase it because this is a question off the head. Is long term or marriage more of a challenge? Which one is a more challenge for you? Do you feel like a long term relationship or marriage is more challenging?
Man, I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest, because this is my longest relationship in
Yeah.
life. You know what I mean? Before that, teenage stuff, 2 years in high school. Really, after high school, I don't really feel like I had no long-term relationships.
Okay.
Nothing was over a year and a half. So high school, that like I said, that don't count. So I only know what I know. You know what I'm saying? Meaning I only know this as far as long-term relationship and a marriage. I
Right.
only know what I know right now because this is like I said, 8 years together, 6 years married, longest
hmm
standing relationship in my life. You know what I'm saying?
I
So.
think I think just like because I'm just asking like the question out loud, and I think just off rip, and I could be talking out of turn because I've never been married.
Hmm.
But like I'm to the space now that I'm older that I'm whatever I'm doing, I'm dating to marry.
Uh-huh.
I want to get there, but I've been in long term relationships. I want to say that I feel like emotionally both has its own territories, but logically I feel like marriage would be a more of a challenge for the simple fact that you guys enter a commitment not just emotionally but also lawfully. That's
Yeah.
what I feel. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bigger battle. If you're just in a long term relationship, the territory would be if you living together, how you guys gonna separate that, and like if you guys like gonna have heartbreak, all of that stuff. And marriage is to where it's like it's the battle for the kids, it's the battle for the land, for the vows, all of that. You can walk away from a long term relationship and there's none of that. You could say fuck it, keep it all, or whatever. When marriage is to where it's like it's a lot more complex to just step away if
So
it doesn't work out.
so yes, it is some more intricacies with being married and the law part of it and how much you got to provide. Me as a man, whether I'm in a long-term relationship or I'm actually married, if I you can have it all, I can get it all again. That's how I feel like, so I'm gonna walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? If it comes to that. For one, now that I have kids, whether I'm married or not, and I got kids, my kids is always going to be the priority. So if it's you keeping the house, you know, we in a relationship. I am not married, so we in a relationship. You got the kid. I need y'all to be good. I need my kids to be good. So whether I'm married and or either way, I'm going to make sure that they're straight, regardless of me being married or not. So to me, it would be the same. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure everybody's straight. You got this. The kids got this. I'm a step away and downsize and rebuild what I need to be rebuild for me. But I want to make sure y'all straight, whether I'm married or a long term relationship. It's the same either way it go. I haven't experienced a long term relationship where I had kids and we living together and figuring out who gonna move out. I don't know what that looks like. Since I've
If
been an
God
adult, I've
forbid.
pretty much had my own space to live in. So nobody never came and lived with me in a relationship I've been in. You know what I'm saying? Up until I was married. So,
Right.
but yeah, that's how I feel about that.
I wanna ask, how do you handle holidays? Where do you go, or when do you go separately? How do you guys navigate that?
It depends on what's going on. My wife and I came up with a system. We came up
Okay.
with a system really fairly quickly after having our first son, where we said, all right, cool, we'll break it down like this. We go to your family for Thanksgiving. Christmas we'll stay home. The next year we'll flip it. We go to my family for Thanksgiving. Christmas we'll stay home, and or vice versa between the two holidays. If those are like kind of the bigger ones, where most people like to be around their family. But if it's something going on both sides of the family at the same time, now that we have multiple kids, we might be all right. We gonna split it up. All right, you take the baby. I'm gonna take the bigger ones, and then we just actually do it like that. Or all right, cool. I'm gonna take the kids with me this time. You go enjoy your family solo because you don't always get to do that. You get to be around some of your friends, you know, by yourself. So it's really just finding that balance about what works for your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that we still navigate it now, and we just discuss it prior to, because most of the stuff that's coming up like holidays or family gatherings, family reunions, and things of that sort, we can discuss them ahead of time because it's typically planned out, or you have a potential month or date for when those things are going to come up, and we just figure out for financially what makes sense. You know what I'm saying, as far as buying plane tickets and things of that sort, or renting a car. So whatever makes the most sense as far as, all right, we all going, or oh no, I'm gonna go by myself. Like it's really just on the balance of what works for your relationship. Example, my niece was graduating 2023 from high school last year. It wasn't this year, May. It's also around the same time as my wife's birthday. The year before we went to my family, it wasn't for graduation. We just went there for Memphis. Memphis in May was my wife's birthday weekend, so we went there. So that was 2022. So 2023, my niece is graduating. She wanted me to come to the graduation. My wife was like, "Yeah, I don't really want to go back to Memphis." Da, da, da. Cool, I'm gonna take the kids. You
Mm-hmm.
go enjoy your birthday. You know what I'm saying? And she went home. Because actually she had plans to go somewhere else. That kind of fell through. So she ended up going home. I'm like, hey man, go home. I got the kids. Go enjoy yourself. Like, you know, I actually spent her birthday with her because I think her birthday was before she left. And then, you know, that weekend she was able to go enjoy her brother who has a birthday a couple days after her, and be
Mm-hmm.
around her family and not have to worry about mommy being a wife. Like, she had a few days to reset and just relax and do what she wanted to do, and she allows me the same thing. When I, you know, hey, I got something going on. I'm gonna go see my brother. I'm be gone for 2 days, and she got the kids. So it's just really about the balance in the communication and what works for your relationship. Some people don't do that. They say we only going to my wife's family house. I don't like my family like that. I have a good relationship with my family, just so does she. So it's really about the balance. And sometimes we say, fuck it, we stay at home, we invite both our sides of our family to us. And who can come, and who don't.
Right.
You know?
That's true. It's all about the balance on what your relationship requires, and that's difficult because a lot of people get stuck in their ways, and if you're family oriented, that could be a difficult task. I'm glad you guys found out how to navigate that.
Yeah.
How did you feel about marriage before versus how you feel about now that you are?
Man, I've always wanted to be married and have a family. Even when I was running around doing my thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew that I wanted to have a family and be married. My father was married to my mother, for a good while, maybe over 10 years. And then when I was maybe around 13 or so, they got divorced. And then My father remarried, and he was with her for 17 years. So I've always saw that in my life. You know what I'm saying? Or where my, some people were around me that was married and had relationships. The feeling about marriage now that I'm married is it's actually it's work. It's work. It's not easy, but I enjoy it because I do have somebody I can come home to, somebody I can share the fruits of my labor with. Um, as well as just having somebody to come home to, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was running around doing my thing, some nights, hey, I was only, I could be doing my thing all day and I come home, I'm by myself. I'm like, man, nobody
Yeah.
in this motherfucker to rub my feet, goddamn it, tell how my day went or nothing. So to me, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing being married. It's not for the weak or the faint hearted. Now I'm gonna tell you that because it has its ups and downs. You know what I mean. But as long as you're willing to put in that work every day and choose your person, choose to do right by your person and choose to grow together, because eventually there's gonna be things that y'all view differently. And as long as you're willing to accept the growth from the other person and you willing to grow as well, then y'all'll be all right.
Mm, love that part. I got one last question for you, and you ready was hitting it on the money. Um, what's the easiest thing about being married, and what's the hardest thing about marriage?
So I say the hardest thing is I don't really know if it's hard now. In the beginning of marriage for me was just really having somebody that you got to think about or answer to. I
Hmm.
don't really want to say answer to. It's just somebody you have to think about as far as whatever decision you're making, what about money you're spending or things of that sort. So just having to like reprogram my mind to actually think about somebody, because I'm not gonna lie, I was a very selfish person. It was all about me and what I wanted to do and all of those things in the beginning. But when you get with somebody who does not think that way, and it's all about how can we do something or this is what we need to do, it begins to open your mind up. So the hardest thing in the beginning was thinking about somebody else or putting somebody else first or thinking about their thoughts or whatever the case may be. And then the easiest thing about marriage is, like I said, just having somebody to come home to and be able to talk to about, whatever. Saying no matter what's going on in the world, I know I can talk to that lady. You know what I'm saying? I can talk to this lady about how I'm feeling. I don't get no judgment. You know what I'm saying? None of that. So just the easiest thing is about basically having a best friend. Like I ain't gonna lie, I had partners growing up, a couple female friends that would like that I never had no relationship with, but that was just my female friends. But it's not the same as having a wife that, like I said, is no judgment, is no, she don't try to use nothing against me that I say. Like, she don't throw nothing back in my face. You know what I'm saying? So just having a person that sees you and knows you for you, man, is the easiest thing, man. I'm allowed to be myself at all times. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's easy about it for me. For
I
me,
love that.
in my
And that's the
situation.
closing statement. You got it from Brother Will. Will. I'm not gonna spoil you. I'm not gonna spoil it for you
Yeah.
guys, but I'll definitely leave it in the comments and leave it in the sessions, and you actually get like a behind the set story of who Will is, because we actually have a more intimate relationship than what we perceived up here. But I wanted it to be more organic. Will, thank you. This was a great opportunity. I hope someone out there learned something from what it is to be married, and I know that you guys are going to get a lot of juice from this episode. And that concludes another episode of Let's Talk About It. So don't forget to tune in on Thursdays at 8 o'clock Eastern. And don't forget to watch the shorts on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Again, the TikTok is twist.johnson. Instagram is let's underscore talk 2025. And you can find me at twist johnson underscore on Instagram. That's TWISTJOHNSON underscore. And you can find me on Facebook at Talk About It. With that being said, love y'all, miss y'all, see y'all soon.